Welcome back. I had a game that I wanted to analyze on video, but that site is broken, so I've switched over to Lichess, and I'm just going to play against Stockfish level 4. I think we play with the computer this way. Standards, yeah, level 4 is the one that I haven't beaten consistently. I've beaten level 3 consistently, but I have not beaten level 4 consistently. And hopefully I'll do okay because I'm on video, and it would be embarrassing if I did poorly. So I'm going to open with D4, and I assume it will respond with D5, and then I will play C4. This is the Slav or the semi-Slav, I believe. This is the Slav defense. I think it becomes the semi-Slav after E6 is played. Here, I think I just get a knight out. Now it's the semi-Slav, if I'm not mistaken. And I think all I do here is get the other knight out. And it pins the knight. I want to defend the knight this way, I believe. I know it's defended with a pawn, but then we get a broken pawn structure, and I don't think that's great. So I think the answer here is, to defend with the queen. Let's go to queen to c2, see if it takes. No, it did not. Okay. I think it's aiming in there, is it not? Then I need to go ahead and challenge this bishop and get it to do something. And if it takes, okay, I was going to say if it took, I would take back with the pawn now, even though it damages my structure, because if I took with the queen, then that knight was going to jump in here. But it did not take. It went back. So I think now I can play e4 because I have two pieces defending e4. Queen and knight are defending the e4 square. If I play e4 and they take, I can take back with the knight. They could take back with the knight. I would take back with the queen and we'd be even. So maybe I should take here first and let them take back and then play e4. But then we still result with this in the same thing, I think. Or should I put my knight in there first? I don't know. But I'm going to take the pawn. And then I'm going to play e4 after it takes back. Assume it will take back. Okay, I think the spot's playing fairly well. Let's do this. Not only are we going to trade off some even material here, but it's... wait, no, that pawn's not hanging. My knight guards that. And now my queen guards it too. Okay, the reason that I went ahead with that even trade was so that I could get this light squared bishop out. I don't know where exactly I want to put it. I think if I put it on c4, they can just play b5, and then I have to move that bishop immediately. So I don't like that necessarily. But that's okay. If I do have to move it back, it will still be pointed at their king side and pinning that pawn. Or I could play it here and threaten mate immediately, in which case they would have to defend against that. I think their best defense against it would be... because I would be aiming down there at h7. I think their best defense would be to play g5. Regardless, I need to get that bishop out so I can castle. Didn't see that coming, did I? Oh, right. Now I could check and then move my queen. If I check, I think their best defense would be to just move their king out of the way, and then I could move the queen someplace. Like just drop it back maybe. But then they would move this rook over. That gets kind of dicey. I know I don't want to take the pawn because I will lose my queen that way. So, nope, that's bad too. All right, I'm going to check and see what happens. And then I will move my queen. Maybe just here. So it won't be right directly in front of my king. And then I'll castle because I don't think they can check me just yet. Oh, they did that. Okay. Well, then I have to drop it back as I said. And I think I'm going to drop it all the way back so I don't block this pawn. I think. I don't know. It feels like I'm doing poorly. Okay. That I'm not worried about. I think it was getting out of the way of this rook check, but I'm just going to castle now, I believe. I think... Oh, wait. Did they just... No, they just gave me the bishop. No, their queen's guarding that. Okay. Well, I'll castle first and see what they do. I need to get this bishop out at some point, but I'm not sure exactly where I want to put it. But maybe I should push this pawn first and then develop the bishop over here where it would be joining my other bishop and pointing at the king side. That's a little slow, but I'm not sure what else to do. Oh, well, there's that. And if I take, they can take back with either the queen or the rook. How about I put my bishop here then? And that way if they take, I will take it. And if they push forward, oh, they did take. Okay, well, then I will take it, and I'll be aiming at their F rook over there. They defended with their bishop. And I think we're still even on material. Let's see, if I take, they would have to take back with their queen. Then I could threaten their queen by moving this rook over, and they would have to move it again. I think that makes sense. This rook, right? Wait, if I move this rook over, they could pick up this pawn. And then when I took their queen, they would take my queen back. I would have lost a pawn. Then I would not be even on material anymore. So maybe I'll hold off on that. But yeah, that pawn is currently in danger. And the only way I can protect it is to move this bishop. And that's the only safe place I can move the bishop, is to be free. No, because that takes my queen off of there. Then the rook would take the pawn. Okay, now if I move the bishop back, then I will have two defenders on that pawn, because they have two attackers on it right now. Or do I just give up the pawn? I could move the bishop back. Then they won't take that pawn, but they'll do something else, like maybe pushing this pawn forward. But then I could push my pawn forward or take. Yeah, I'm going to do that and bring it around this way. Wait, what? What does that do? That's not. I guess that would be good, because that would put another attacker on the pawn and it would be protected. Okay. Well, now I'm going to move this rook over here where it's protected by my knight. Oh, they went that way. Okay. Then I need to get this bishop off the back rank so that my rooks are connected. But then they're going to put this knight in here and they'll have three attackers on that pawn. And I won't be able to defend it, I guess. Is the problem with that. Can I just move that pawn forward now? Wait, or can I put my knight? I can put my knight on e5, which protects that square, I think. And does it threaten anything else? Yeah, it also threatens their c-pawn. Okay, they've protected their c-pawn, but they've given me a trade knight for the bishop. I think I should do that. And then they would take with their queen. And then I don't know what's next at that point. Or they could take with their knight. Let's do it. I think that had to be a mistake, right? No, it's not a mistake. My rook's undefended. My rook's undefended. Let's defend the rook. Yeah, because if I make any move that's not check and doesn't defend this rook, they can take it. For example, if I take their rook, or if I took their knight, then they would take my rook, and it wouldn't be mate because I could block with my queen, but I would have just lost a rook. So let's protect the rook by moving the bishop, I think, or should I move the queen? I can protect the rook by moving the queen. Not there. Those two would be bad, because their queen would just capture my queen. I could move the queen to e3, but then this pawn could push forward, and then I would have to move the queen again. Or I could just move the king over to protect the rook. Would that be the simplest? That might be the simplest, but I also need to move that bishop at some point. Let's just move the bishop, which protects the rooks. And then I assume they're going to take my knight with their knight. That makes sense, because otherwise I was going to get their rook. Now we're even on material again, except I have a bishop and they have a knight. That should favor me. This is not a closed position. There's only one center pawn left, and it's mine. So the bishop should be better, but it's not right now because it's blocked by my own queen. And if I put it here, I don't think that's great, is it? No, because again, that gives up that pawn. Wow. I need to get the queen out from in front of that bishop, like here. What if I put the queen here? That's not bad, right? If I put the queen on f3, that threatens this pawn, their c pawn, and it lets the bishop attack that pawn. And the rooks are still defended, and the queen would still be defending the h pawn. I think we're good. Hopefully. That kind of surprised me a little bit. Okay, but not really. It shouldn't have, because they have two pieces pointed here. And now my queen can't interpose anymore. Okay, so I need to take that rook. Then they would take back, and then they would still have two pieces pointed right here. So I would need to move my a pawn so the king could get out, while the rook would still be guarding that spot, but it would be guarding that spot by itself. I think that's what I have to do. Let's take that rook. When they take it back, I will move a pawn so that if they do check and I capture and they capture, then I can escape. I think that's best. Or should I move the g pawn? No, because then they can. That's okay. I could just take that. And I'm still threatening this pawn, which they haven't made an attempt to protect yet. Another thing I guess I could do is move this rook over. No, because then they could come in here And if I took, they would have mate. So yeah, okay, h-pawn it is. That is attempting to come in here, I think. I have two hanging pawns now. Which one should I take? I take this one. If I take this one, I'm not yet threatening mate because the knight guards the rook. If I take this one, that prevents the knight from coming in here closer to my king. Well, no, it could still come here, but if it did, I would come back and take it. So I'm going to take this annoying h-pawn first, I think. Okay, they still have made no attempt to guard their c-pawn. I'm a pawn ahead. Should I take the c-pawn? Oh wait, no, they're aiming at my whatever pawn that is, the d-pawn. So if I take their c-pawn, they will take my d-pawn, I assume, and their rook is still not hanging because the knight is still protecting it. I can protect my d-pawn by going here, and I'm not threatening anything on h7 because their knight is protecting that also. But it is something to keep in mind if their knight ever moves. So the question is, should I protect this pawn? I don't think so because they're just going to push that one. And then I wouldn't want to push this because their knight and their queen guard that square. But if I take their c-pawn and they take my d-pawn, they're threatening my rook, which I would then have to move here to be guarded for it to be protected. And I would still be up one pawn. So now I need to move my rook either here where the bishop will protect it, or here where the queen will protect it, or here where the king will protect it. Because right now it's under threat. And you can see why I have not beaten Stockfish level 4 consistently. Because even though at this point I am a pawn ahead and I'm up a bishop for a knight, if you believe that bishops are slightly better than knights, which is not always the case, then I'm not doing that much better. I may be slightly better. Neither one of us yet has a passed pawn. We had just now got rid of two more center and center adjacent pawns. Their B pawn and my A pawn are the two that are hanging out there. And I have one more pawn around my king than they do. But I suppose that one's something of a dangling participle right now. So let's move the rook to the C file where the queen will protect it. And then it will also protect the queen. Okay, let's do that and see what Stockfish level 4 has up its sleeve. Oh, it's going for the passed pawn. I was just about to take that, or I was thinking about it. Here, if I take, I assume they would take back, and then I would still be up one pawn. But if I don't take, they're going to take me. Or if I go past, I assume they're going to keep marching down. Got to figure that out. I think we need to take it, right? So, yeah, I think I have to take that. And let's assume they'll take back. Okay. Now, again, I got to watch for this, but I have created the escape square, so I'm not too worried about that. Their knight is still protecting both the rook and h7. What can I do with this bishop? If I bring the bishop here, the knight's going to trade off for it, almost certain. I need to be working on a way to exploit this fairly vulnerable king, but it's not quite as vulnerable as I would like because of the knight, and the knight's on a dark square. So my bishop has no idea it's there because this bishop will never see or go to any dark squares. That's one thing that's hard to remember about the bishops. It is currently preventing that knight from moving. Well, not there, but here and here, it's keeping the knight kind of stuck there. So, but it's not protected. Should I try to protect it? And then maybe threaten that knight because the knight's part of my problem here. Should I go after the knight? I think that seems like an okay plan, going after the knight. But I don't know what my opponent has in store. They might be thinking about something like this to come after that pawn. I don't think going after the queen's the answer because then they could check here or they could check here then. And then when I got out, then they could move their queen someplace nice, sunny. But once they get their rook off the back rank, there's a little bit more trouble back. I don't know. I know it's probably not a good idea, but I'm gonna push my G pawn. See what happens. Now what's going on? What's going on? Where's that aiming? It's not aiming here, is it? Because my queen is guarding that. And it's not aiming here. Oh, maybe it's about to bring the rook down? But if I do this, okay, let's say I play g5, which threatens the knight directly, but then they brought their rook down instead, which is threatening a mate, is it not? Not really, because my queen guards this square. They bring that down, I would take the knight, and that's not even check. Now, if I push the g-pawn, the knight could just move. It could move to h5, ready to come down in here somehow, like boop, 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 but that's 3 moves. But once it moves, that rook's hanging, so I don't think it'll move. So I think that's good. That's why the queen moved there. Oh, right. Well, I messed that up in interesting fashion, and now my bishop's hanging. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, it kind of is. Okay, and I'm not a pawn anymore. All right. Well, that's the best way to block a check without losing the bishop for free. That makes sense, I suppose. What about doing this now? Threatening the queen with the rook. I don't know. I feel like I'm lost already. Oh, there's that. Well, now wherever I move this bishop, the queen can just... No, it can't. But it could just go back to where it was. No, it can't go back to where it was. Okay. So I could just move the bishop here. If the knight takes... Wait. Yeah, if the knight takes, I can take back, and then I'm threatening the rook. But they're probably threatening mate at some point. Oh, yeah. They're definitely threatening mate. I should check, right? Can I get away? Is there some kind of perpetual check here? Probably not. Let's see what I can do. Well, there's that. Oh, right. Can I do anything about this? I can bring the rook over. I honestly thought the king was going to move out of check, but if it did, I was going to bring my bishop here and keep checking. Yeah, this is going to be mate very soon because I've moved my queen's not guarding g2 anymore. So I guess I should bring my queen back to guard g2, or should I bring the rook over to guard f2? Also, okay, that pawn's not yet hanging because the bishop still protects it, but I have a feeling that won't last long. If I do this, the g7 pawn could move, but then I could move the rook, maybe. Or I could guard that pawn this way. No, they'd still take it and my rook would be cut off. Okay, let's do this. Hitting the bishop, but the bishop's protected, and the bishop wants to go here to attack the knight, right? Okay, but I'm just going to move the queen, I'm pretty sure, to not there. Where should I move the queen? To here? I think I should move the queen all the way back to c2. That makes sense. Yeah, really not sure what to do here. Going after the bishop. Well, the bishop was about to move someplace. Back to b3. Not there. Yeah, let's say b3. Trying to come around this way, maybe. I could threaten the queen right now with my rook. Oh, no, their knight's guarding that spot. Bad idea. I could threaten their queen by going here, which I assume it'll move someplace that will cause me lots of trouble. Like, it'll go there and say check. And then I'll be in trouble. And I don't know. I have a feeling if I move behind the bishop, which was my idea to protect this corner square, if I do that, they're just going to do this. And then my bishop will be pinned. But it would be protected temporarily. Are any of their pieces in trouble? Okay, that pawn's not defended, and their queen is not defended. So I can attack their queen, but as we already said, they'd probably go here and check me. Is there a way I can attack that pawn? Not really. I can go here, but then I'm not defending the corner square anymore. But that does keep their queen from checking this way. So I could just escape or one of these places. Maybe do that. See what happens. All right. Well, I'm going to resign. Okay. I would have much rather analyzed a game on the other website, but the other website is broken. I'm just going to look at the analysis to see if I was behind the whole time, because I felt like I was. Oh no. According to this chart, I was ahead and behind. A lot. See that? Oh, you can't see it, but Stockfish 15 is running down there. It says 15. The other site only has 11 now. So much for that money we're paying them, right? Oh, well, yeah, I had a big lead right before I blew it. Okay, I had 7 blunders and 4 mistakes. It shows down here at the bottom, right behind my camera view. And the bot made 3 mistakes and 6 blunders. Okay, you can kind of see the chart there. That's as far up as I can scroll. Okay, I was ahead most of the time until about right here when I played g5. And that, yeah, we noticed that was a mistake as soon as I played it because the queen took it. Should have played rook to c5. I don't know why. I thought my rook was guarding the back rank. What do the lines say here? Rook to c5. And there's a lot of moves that would have maintained the very slight advantage. Rook to c5, rook to c4, king to g2 would have been okay. But I played that, gave away a huge advantage. The bot took back. Bishop to g4 was my best move. h5 was its best move. Rook to c5 was my best move then. Okay. That's why I should have played rook to c5 before to protect that. No, it wouldn't have protected it because my bishop was in the way. Okay. And then here, the bot should have checked me with rook to e1. when I put my rook up there. But instead, it moved the queen out of danger, which gave me a huge advantage. And I should have taken the, whoops, I should have taken this pawn. The knight's guarding that, right? Oh, to draw the knight off the rook. Oh, wow. Their queen would have taken it, it says, is the best move. If their knight took it, I would have had a mate in 4. But if their queen took it, I would have just taken back with the bishop, and they would have not taken with the knight because I would have had this. So their best move was rook to d8. Oh, because I'm attacking their rook right now. Okay, so rook to d8, and then I would move this bishop out of there, right? Like here, which would keep their king from going anywhere. Okay. And then they would only have one move that's not, oh, nope, all the moves are plus 55 now. If I found bishop to g6. Doesn't matter what they do. Wow. Even though I'm only up, what, 2 points of material? No, 5 points of material. 6 points of material. Okay, well, that was, when they moved there, that was a problem. And I did not see that this would have been a huge thing. The rook would have forked the king and the queen, and had they taken with the knight, I would have won their rook with check. Let's see. I just want to see. If they took with their knight, then I would have taken the rook, right? Okay. Then they would have had to have moved out of check, and then I would have, I would have checked again. Actually, I would have been very tempted to just take the knight at this point with one of my pieces here. I would have been very tempted to take with the queen because it says I would still be plus, oh yeah, plus 60. Okay, because they would take back, and then I would take back, and I would have a bishop and 2 pawns to 1 pawn. And they could never get that pawn down because I would just plant my king in front of it or take it. I would sacrifice a bishop for it in order to help get these 2 pawns down. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. They would come after my bishop, and I would just drop it back. Oh, I could just drop it back all the way, and there's nothing they can do because I'm going to bring my king up in here to protect these 2 pawns. Okay, but I did not see it. All right. Instead, my second best move right now was to take, what? My second best move is to take the rook with my queen. It says that would have left us at zeros. I would not have believed that. Wouldn't they have taken it? It says they would. But then I would have gone here, and they would have had to give up their queen for my rook, like I just did for them. And then I would take their queen, yes. And then we would be a knight versus a bishop, and I would have 1 extra pawn, but the computer knows that that's a drawn game. All right. But instead, I moved my bishop down here. I ran my bishop away because it's just, my bishops are always scared, afraid of things. Okay, they should have taken it there. I thought they were going to, but they didn't. They instead brought their rook down, and I should have played queen to f3. I think I considered that to help protect this pawn. But instead, I checked first. Okay, and it was a blunder for them to block the check. See, I thought they were going to move out of check here, and then I was going to have some sort of perpetual. That's what I thought, right? This is what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to go here. I was going to check on f5. Oh, I didn't think they would block with the pawn. I thought they would move up with the king, and then I would come in behind it. But it says they would block with the pawn. Oh, and I would just take the pawn? I wouldn't have. I would have checked here. Oh, but then their king would have eventually gotten out, wouldn't it? Because that's what I would have done, and that would have been bad. But see, that's what I thought was going to happen. And I thought if I went and checked here, oh, the king would get out, though. Well, I was wrong about all sorts of things. Instead of moving, which would have been okay, they blocked with the knight. Oh, and I played the best move here. That was the best move. But I mean, I was thinking about guarding this pawn, right? But then they blundered again. That was a blunder. My best move would only move. Queen to e8. What does that do? I guess it puts 2 pieces here. But instead, I aimed my bishop at their knight, which brought us back to zeros. And they did not play their best move, but they're very close second there. And it's into c3 or c2. No, c2 is what I played. A queen to c3 or rook takes this pawn. If the rook took that pawn, oh, because the queen is the defender of that rook. Okay, so then they would, it says they would take it with the queen, right? And then I would take their rook, and then they would check me. aiming it, and when my... Oh, no, I'd have to block with the bishop again. And I have a very, very slight advantage. Very slight, but that's probably just due to the extra pawn, which I probably can't win with. Not against the bot. But instead of that, I brought my queen all the way back here, and they played their second best move, which threatens the rook. And I should have taken it to b5 or c5 or f3. Well, I did f3. Okay, not bad. I was thinking about this pawn, I guess. Maybe something else. And again, the bot played its second best move, which was to go after the bishop. I should have taken it all the way back to a2. Well, I took it back here so that the queen and bishop could defend each other. The bot did not play one of its top 3 moves, did that. I blundered here. I just gave away my queen. Oh my goodness. But we were even. We were even if I had not just given away my queen. Well, thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something from this, or had fun watching me blunder my way into this loss against this bot. Either way, we'll see you next time.